He used to tell me, I had a wonderful father, very smart, and he used to say, son, when you walk into a restaurant and you see a dirty front door, don't go in, because if the front door is dirty, the kitchen's dirty also. Same thing with the Capitol. If our Capitol's dirty, our whole country is dirty, and they don't respect us. So it's a very good question, actually.
On a political campaign, especially a national one, you learn a critical lesson very quickly. The battle you see on TV is rarely the real war being fought. You create a public narrative, a big, visible move that draws all the media attention and forces your opponent to react. But while the cameras are focused on the fireworks, the real strategic objective, the one that actually shifts power, is happening quietly in the background. What we're seeing with President Trump's move to federalize the D.C. police isn't just about crime in the Capitol. That's the public narrative. The real strategic objective is to create a legal and operational precedent to dismantle sanctuary cities and their policies nationwide.
And we're here for a very serious purpose, Something's out of control, but we're going to put it in control very quickly like we did on the southern border. I'm announcing a historic action to rescue our nation's capital from crime, bloodshed, bedlam, and squalor, and worse. This is Liberation Day in D.C., and we're going to take our capital back. We're taking it back. Under the authorities vested in me as the President of the United States, I'm officially invoking Section 740 of the District of Columbia Home Rule Act. You know what that is? And placing the D.C. Metropolitan Police Department under direct federal control, and you'll be meeting the people that will be directly involved with that.
Trump is saying this is Liberation Day. We are taking our capital back. Criminals, you're finished. You're done. Leave, or we will find a place to lock you up. And Alligator Alcatraz is calling all of you
cities to follow DC's path if this goes through. So the idea is that Chicago, LA, San Francisco, would they expect similar action what we've seen in DC?
We're going to have a tremendous success in what we're doing. Other cities are hopefully watching this. They're all watching, just like everyone's watching here. They're all watching, and maybe they'll clean up, and maybe they'll do this and get rid of the cashless bail thing and all of the things that caused the problem. I mean, if you go back, this whole thing with cashless bail is a disaster. So many problems came that we never had before. So they're watching us today, and if they don't learn their lesson, if they haven't studied us properly, because we're going to be very successful. I have zero doubt about that. It's going to be. It's a question of will it be really fast, like the border. You know, everyone said, they used to say, Biden used to say, I need legislation. I didn't get any legislation. I called up our people, and we did a great job. Tom Homan was great. As you know, our secretary did a great job. They did a great job. There's no games. They didn't play games. And we're going to have the same thing here. But then I'm going to look at New York in a little while. Let's do this. Let's do this together. Let's see. It's going to go pretty quickly. And if we need to, we're going to do the same thing in Chicago, which is a disaster. We have a mayor there who's totally incompetent. He's an incompetent man. And we have an incompetent governor there. Pritzker's an incompetent. His family threw him out of the business, and he ran for governor. And now I understand he wants to be president. But I noticed he lost a little weight, so maybe he has a chance. You know, you never know what.
Donald Trump has patched all the leaks. There was zero information leaked to the news media about this, and the news media is losing their mind. Watch this.
This issue, and again, you're going to get into the fact check of what is wrong about his figures or not. But why is this the top of the President of the United States agenda today? And I think that's an important question for us to think about as we think about everything that's on his plate. Why is taking over law enforcement in the District of Columbia? Now, he made the argument as to why, and that it's a capital city, and that the way he sees it is that it is crime-ridden and needs to be changed. But still, why is the President of the United States putting that front and center? So that's a question I sort of try to think about.
From your perspective, is the purpose of this action purely to have just a massive show of force on the streets of D.C., or in practice, is there anything that will be done differently with the police department under federal control?
To divine what the purpose is of this deployment of National Guard assets, what this reallocation of things like FBI agent resources to patrol the streets of DC, it raises some important questions like, what is it? Why this production? Why this kind of Potemkin village of criminal intervention in a city? What is this designed to distract us from? I don't know that I can answer that for you here, but
think about it. The mainstream media is in a panic, asking, why this? Why now? They're focused on the show of force, the press conferences. They're missing the point. For months, the administration has been in a standoff with sanctuary cities like Chicago, New York, and Los Angeles. These cities have police departments that are legally forbidden from cooperating with ICE, even when they have criminal, illegal immigrants in their custody. This creates a massive enforcement gap. ICE knows the criminals are there, but they can't get the information they need to act safely and efficiently.
Almost 25,000 homes. And you see what's happening now. They didn't give their permits. I went to a town hall meeting. I said, we're going to get you the federal permits, which are much harder. Almost immediately, Lee Zeldin is a star. He did an incredible job. They have all their federal permits. They don't have their city permits. And the mayor said to me, we think we could have them in 2 years. I was walking down the street, and I met with firemen and police. And I was saying hello to many people that were standing in front of their homes with yellow tape. You can't go in. You can't go onto the lot. And those people wanted to start rebuilding their homes then and there. And the mayor said, we should be able to get them the permits within 2 years. I said, that's a shame. 2 years? Are you kidding? I'm going to get them the federal permit like almost immediately. 2 years. And she drew it back. Well, maybe 1 year. The place was booing her out of the place. They don't have their permits to build their homes. And now they're talking about putting, this is among the most beautiful areas was in the country. Now they're talking about putting low-income housing there. Can you believe this? I love low-income housing. I made money with low-income housing. I built low-income housing. I know more about low-income housing and luxury housing. I know about everything real estate. They want to replace some of those homes with low-income housing.
By invoking the D.C. Home Rule Act, Trump is just sending a message. He's taking direct command and control of a police department's data. He's testing a playbook. The goal is to prove that federal intervention can work and to gain access to the vital information to enforce federal immigration law. This isn't a random act. It's a pilot program. The message to mayors in Chicago and Los Angeles is clear. We did it in D.C., and if you don't start cooperating, your city is next. And this ties directly into what we're seeing in California. It's the same pattern of local officials using their power to advance an agenda at the expense of their citizens. In Pacific Palisades, families lost their homes in the fires. They want to rebuild their lives. But as the president confirmed, the local government has been slow walking their permits. Why? Because they see an opportunity to rezone the land for high density, low income housing. Dollars per square foot, if you really want to think about it. They're leveraging a tragedy to push a political goal. First, they told us it was a conspiracy theory. Now the president has confirmed it is happening, and he's fighting back by fast-tracking the federal permits. Both of these stories, D.C. and California, are about the same thing. They're about whether local governments have the right to ignore federal law and the will of their own citizens to push a radical agenda. The administration is making a calculated move. They're using the clear-cut authority they have in Washington, D.C. to set the stage for a much larger confrontation with the sanctuary cities and progressive local governments that believe they are untouchable. This is the real story, the one happening behind the headlines. Thank you for tuning in. This is the Ben Dykes Show. Smash the like and subscribe button. It really helps to grow the channel. Thank you for watching.